Hello guys, this is a pre-market analysis of 6th of July. So we will be discussing the Iran-US developments and the crude prices and then monsoon update and then institutional, positions. And we will be looking at the most important levels for today. So if you see, I'll discuss with the levels itself. I'll start with the levels itself. So 24, 375, 350 to 375 range is now looking like a resistance. And after that, 24,500. So if you look at the open interest and you see major resistance, it's at the 24,500 level, and major support is at 24,000. That's where maximum put open interest, but there are good amount of put open interest at 24,200 also. So 24,170 to 200 is going to be a very strong support area at this moment. So 200 and that 170 200 range is broken, then the buyers may take control. And if Nifty stays above 24,230, just like a couple of days back, if Nifty stays above 24,60, it will move to 24,300 is what we discussed. And exactly the same thing happened a couple of times. It came and made a double bottom, triple bottom kind of setup at 24,000 to 60 level, and it moved higher. So the similar setup now forming at 24,230 level. So as long as Nifty is above 24,230, it is very good. It's under the control of bulls, and the major battlefield is this 24,000, 40, 50, 24,240 to that 275 range. If that is closed, 24,375 is the next major level, and then 24,500. So most important resistance that we are looking at in a bigger range is 24,000 as a support and 24,500. But for time being, most immediate range that we are looking for is 24,170 and 370. That's the tight 200 point that we are looking for. If that 200 point is broken, then we are looking at 500 and even 24,000 also. So apart from that, let's look at the other developments. During the weekends, there was a funeral for the former supreme leader and family members, which was conducted in Iran, and there was a large public gathering also, which was seen in Iran and Tehran. And Trump, in fact, have commented that he was surprised by such a big public reaction and claimed that mourning was fake. So the market perspective, if you need to see if the large gathering reflect the rising public anger which is there inside Iran, it could in fact increase pressure on the Iranian government to project the strength, right? And that could complicate definitely the ongoing peace process also, if that is the case. And the US statements during the weekend is like Trump in fact stated that the US could eliminate Iran's leadership easily, but at the same time he added that US is not doing that because the negotiations are continuing and he want to continue with the peace and this negotiation and everything. So the takeaway is that the diplomacy is still active, but the rhetoric from both sides still, that remain aggressive. Apart from that, some positive development is that, in fact, Qatar was resuming this maritime activities, including the fishing, and that is basically indicating that the Gulf countries are now trying to normalize the shipping activity. And the next US-Iran technical talks are expected to be around July 11, possibly in Pakistan. So the market impact, if you ask me, that is actually supportive for the market. This 60 days supportive for the market means if the market wanted to make an up move, this is the time. VIX is also cooled down and everything was looking perfect. So a sharp down move is unlikely unless there is a negative news. So market may slow and steady, go up, or it may consolidate. So the immediate concern over the crude oil supply and all is reduced. So that is actually good for the market. But then again, there is some concern with respect to Strait of Hormuz that Iran is considering to charge some service fees for the ships that are passing through the Strait of Hormuz after this, current 60-day free transit period. This negotiation period, the free transit period is the 60 days. And after that, Iran is planning to charge something. And this has been reportedly communicated to China also. So if that is getting implemented, India will be affected, right? Because the crude prices again goes up slightly because of the extra charge that you're paying. Now coming to crude oil price, Friday closing, it was around 70 for WTI and Brent crude was at around 72 per barrel. Now, during the weekend, OPEC have agreed to increase the production by another 180,000 barrels per day. If that happens, the supply is increasing, so the prices will come down. And because of that, if you look at the current prices, WTI is around 68.5 and Brent is around 72. So it almost came to almost half of what we have seen at the peak. So the market impact is very clear, right? The lower crude price means positive for the Indian market. So if the production is higher, supply is higher, and the price will come down. Now coming to monsoon. In fact, last couple of days, higher rainfall has occurred, especially in Mumbai, Gujarat, and all. And then there were reports that's indicating that more than 200 centimeter rainfall and some casualties are also there. So, although if you see this rainfall has caused some disruption, the monsoon conditions have improved significantly. So, if you look at the rainfall data, previously there was a sufficient, in fact, a deficiency of almost 44%. But since we are getting some good rain now, the current rainfall deficiency, if you take that, is reduced to 24 percentage, which is actually good. So, see what we got from June 1st to so far is around 155.6 mm, but what used to be the average is around 204. So it is now coming close to that. Let's see. There are many states, they have not got enough, from the monsoon. Tamil Nadu and Andaman Nicobar also, in fact, if you look at it, this scenario, they have received slightly better rainfall, but Kerala and all have not received as it used to receive. So there are discrepancies, but that will have an impact later. But so far the good thing is that after this last week, the deficiency to an extent has been corrected. So that's actually positive. Now, coming to the banking stocks. See, earlier, when this ICICI Bank, a UK-based Prudential was classified as a promoter, and in the latest filing, it reclassified Prudential as an investor. So because of that, ICICI Bank management is not required to offer a board seat. What is the market reaction? That we will have to wait and watch today. IT sector, if you see, TCS is scheduled to result its announced by Thursday, and analysts are expecting to release, earnings expectations during market hours. So IT stocks will be already. IT stocks have done a very good move in the last week. So IT stocks will remain again in focus in this week. Now, last day, FIIs turned out to be net buyers, 1350 crores, 1350 crores they bought. DIIs turned out to be sellers, 1950 crores they have sold. Okay, again, if you look at option data, new call option addition is at 30%, and around 10% put option interest is added. So what happens? More calls have added on the last week because you're getting it at a higher level, 24,400 levels and all it went, right? So naturally, what happened? More calls are getting sold, 24,400, 350, 25, 24,500 levels. So the put call ratio actually dropped. It was very good positive before on the last day when I discussed Friday. It was 1.24 and that's now reduced to 1.05. So that is actually still bullish, but from the bullishness that we had on the last day, it came down. So there are positives, there are negatives. As I told you, positives are like this diplomatic talk between US and Iran is continuing. Qatar have resumed maritime activity. OPEC Plus is increasing the production. That is very good. So crude oil, as of now, if you see, it's remained stable and it's lower. And S&P futures, if you see, it's around 0.5% up. Nasdaq futures is also up by around 1.3%. Global momentum is also positive. So all these are looking good. But still, some aggressive comments are there between Iran and US. GIFT Nifty is not indicating any fresh movement at this point of time. And if you see participant-wise options, it's not that supportive for further upside. So these are main things that we need to watch. Last day, Nifty opened 100-point gap up as expected. 150 close to 150 point, 100 point, just above that, and moved near to 24,400. So that is the yesterday's high is very important level, 24,375 level, and you started getting a sell-off and 100-point dip was there, right? So there is a strong resistance now. That is a immediate resistance, that is previous day high and previous day low. That gap is the most important support. In fact, I would say 24,230. So if we are getting at around 24,230 level, that's the value area at this point of time. Since the market is technically long, we'll be looking for a buy on dips opportunity. So 24,230 is the first level, and keeping 24,170 as the stop loss. If 170 is broken, then sellers may gain control again. So this is something which you need to keep in mind. So these are the levels. 24, 250, 270 is the battlefield now. So that after that, 24, 170 to 200 area is the most important support area. Below that, the sellers will take control. 24, 340, 375 is the immediate resistance. If that is close, 24, 500 may be touched because expiry is there. So there can be a sudden push, which you may see. But most probably, it will be pushed down from 24, 400 itself. So let's see what is going to happen and trade responsibly, trade carefully, watch these levels. Option data also, maximum call open interest is at 24,500, 400, and then 300. New writing is coming at 300, which is a straddle people. Put side, if you see, 24,000 and 24,200 also, good amount of put open interest is there. So 24,200 is the immediate support, 24,000 is the bigger support, 400 is the immediate resistance, which is previous day high. 24,500 is the major resistance. Even 24,300 also, that is a straddle people. They keep shifting and adjusting. So that is something which you don't want to consider. Consider 24,400, 200 level as the immediate range. 24,000 and 24,500 as the bigger range for the expiry. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I see you in the next video.